Gang. Gang, 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 gang.
This is the K-Pop Cast, and tonight we're discussing the hot issue of the rise of queer LGBT visibility and coming out in K-pop so far in 2025.
We also share hit replays from Close Your Eyes, Jennie, and KiiKii.
Hey, but before we get into that topic, guys, don't forget to join the K-Pop Cast listener fam on Slack and help chip in for the show's costs. Links to everything in the episode description.
And now for hit replays.
I'm your host, Stephanie, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome back to the show, Joe from the Slack.
Hey.
Hey,
What's going on?
Hey. Woo. No, we always enjoy having Joe's insights, biting commentary, humor, knowledge, encyclopedic knowledge of K-pop and other kinds of history. Just really value your perspective, Joe. So thanks for joining us.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, so guys, of course, hit replays are our K-pop song recommendations for the week. So kick us off, Joe. What is your hit replay?
So it's a conflicting hit replay, but I had to run it back.
Oh, no.
Due to our topic today.
Not a conflicted hit replay.
Due to our hit replay, I had to run it back. My hit replay for today is Jennie and Doechii with Extra L.
Gimme cheat, gimme purr, gimme meow, gimme her, gimme funds, gimme rights, gimme fight, gimme nerve, gimme cunt, let me serve. Let me out, let me in. Knock the doors down, got the keys to the Benz. In the boardroom, looking bored, cause I'm not here for pleasing the men. Not here to reason with them. Misbehave, mispush my pen. I can't tame my passion for him. Can't keep up what happened to them. We lapping them in.
So obviously, if you've been abreast of the local news and gossip in K-pop, you can see why I'm conflicted with making this my hit replay. However, since we are talking about queerness in K-pop, Jennie is not the focal point for the reason my hit replay. It's all about Doechii. Like I said this in the Slack, this verse that Doechii laid down is one of the best. When it comes to rap features, probably one of the best rap features in K-pop ever. And that's only since Meg started. And I love Meg down. But Doechii, the reasons I gave was this verse was so unapologetically black and unapologetically queer. Which if you've been following Doechii and her artistry, like she doesn't do anything without intention. And that's kind of what made the YG leak and the things that came out about Jennie so much more frustrating, because it became very clear in that moment that like one person in this song is very authentic about who they are. And the other person is very much put together.
Yeah, like a project constructed by a think tank. I'm curious if off the top of your head, Joe, you wanted to share some of Doechii's lines or verse that hint at or speak about queerness. Where you?
Oh gosh. Give me rights, give me fights, give me cunt, let me serve. It's very like
iconic.
That line. The first time I listened to the song, it just went, grabbed me by the throat. And the funny thing is, Doechii always grabs me by the throat, but the aggressiveness that she attacks her bars with on this one remind me of another song that she did several years ago called Crazy. And I'm going to advise you to listen to the song versus watching the video, because the video had like content warning for violence, but it's basically like Crazy is about being a unhinged black woman, like freedom incarnate, right? And that's the vibe that these bars gave me. And I was just like, I said in the Slack, when it comes to Western rappers featuring on K-pop songs, there's kind of this thing where rappers go back into hiding. I mean, it happens in American pop too, but even more so in K-pop, probably because of the cultural differences. But on this track, it was just like regular Doechii, and I loved this track.
Oh,
for
you
that.
mean that, yeah, Western artists water themselves down?
Yes.
Not, when they come to K-pop. Yeah. Yeah, not here.
No. Like even Meg, she doesn't do it
Took it
as
up a
much.
notch.
Yeah, Meg doesn't do it as much. Like,
But still some.
but it's still somewhat, right? But
Yeah, you
Doechii's
can
just
tell.
like, I'm putting my whole self into this one.
Putting my foot in it. Well, thank you. I feel like you're speaking for a lot of us. You're speaking for a lot of us K-pop fans, a lot of us who enjoyed that collaboration so much when it came out and then kind of started to feel a sour taste in our mouth with the YG leaker news about Blackpink and cultural appropriation and just that whole news cycle about various K-pop artists stepping in it. With
Thankfully,
regards to how they engage with black music. So, but still we hold on to this song and this verse.
thankfully and unfortunately, being Black American, you get really good at swallowing bullshit. That's probably the one thing that's probably been the one thing that's been keeping me sane in my K-pop fandom over the past decade. Being Black American, aside from knowing that you got the juice and you're the blueprint, because of how we grow up here, you get used to swallowing bullshit, and like that sucks to say, but that's what it is.
All right, well, thank you for sharing that, Joe.
Yeah, but Stephanie, what is your hit replay for this week?
So my hit replay is a little less in your face, but still catchy. It is rookie group Close Your Eyes with To the Woods. To body roll in my seat here.
Right? My goodness.
That I actually discovered this on my TikTok For You page where someone had just clipped the body roll part and was looping it and was like, inject this part of this song into my veins, because it's when the instruments kind of cut out and the boys of the group are just smoothly, groovily body rolling to the woods. And I was like, ooh, I gotta find this. I gotta find the whole one. I gotta research this. So Close Your Eyes is a 7-member global project boy group under Encore from JTBC's survival show Project 7, featuring members from Korea, Japan, and China. They debuted this month, April 2025. They are like rookie. They debuted with a whole album though, y'all. And it is very like pleasantly smooth, neo soul inspired, understated. It's refreshing. And so it makes me smile. I'm an instant fan.
100%. Stephanie, thank you so much for bringing this group back, because I feel like we almost forgot about them with everything that was coming out when they're during their debut week.
Oh, they debuted in a rough week for
Yeah.
K-pop.
Yeah, but not to be diminutive of anything they're about to accomplish in their careers, but the best way I could describe the scope of their music is that it's EXO music. Like it's just it gives
Early,
me everything,
slow EXO. Yeah.
everything with the vocal harmonies, the R&B, just the talent, the caliber. I mean, yes, they're from a project group, but these are also experienced, like well-trained people. So when they body roll, they know how to move their body.
They're not true rookie. Yeah.
Not a true rookie. So everything in their sound and their performance, I'm just so excited. It's kind of like the same excitement that I got when TAN debuted, because again, their performance quality was there, but also they just had such great music.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm impressed. Awesome. All right. So, PD Nim, you're up next. What's your hit replay?
My hit replay is also a new rookie girl group. We're talking for the first time about Starship's new little girl group, KiiKii, and their B-side, Groundwork.
처음부터 알았어. This will be my field. 평범하게 나네 superpower지 시작해. Light up. Burn the groundwork. Do that.
Yeah, so this is the first time we're talking about KiiKii on the show, but we've definitely been talking about them a lot in the Slack, especially with their first sort of pre-debut song that was giving like I don't know, Gen Alpha art student taking a trip to Scandinavia or whatever. But like this song was the breakout from their debut EP Uncut Gems that they came out with this last month. Because for one, there's such a unique mix to the sound of all of their voices, as well as just like their vocal performance. It's like so growly in an interesting way. It's like, it's considering that this is part of their debut, it's such an interesting sound for them to come out with on their first album.
It's adventurous, yeah.
Yeah, so I really had to share this track, especially since now we actually have a music video for it, which is visually confusing, like
A lot is happening.
in a lot of like kind of like how XG is visually confusing, but in a great way. So yeah, that's why it's my hit replay for this week.
I was kind of
great choice. Thanks for highlighting it for us.
I was kind of confused, like especially with the chorus for Groundwork, because I'm just like, where it's very. The song and the video go together because it's just very not disorienting, but it's just like the clothes are decidedly tacky, but in a way the song is the song in itself is also kind of tacky. Not in a like I guess in a camp-ish way.
Where are you going with this?
I'm not like it's not a dig. It's just. It's a real unique. It's unique for a girl group and it's unique for a rookie group. Because this is usually like a second. Groundwork is usually like a second or third comeback type of song. Yeah. Not an out the gate song.
Yeah, and my kind of theory about what at least Starship is trying to do with KiiKii as opposed to what they've been doing with Eyse is, remember when Eyse came out with 90s kitsch? And it didn't really do that well, and they went back to doing what they did before.
Yes.
I feel like KiiKii is the 90s kitsch. Like, KiiKii is the kind of the group that Starship is going to be very experimental with their sound. And so I'm very excited to see what comes after this.
Yeah, how do they follow this up? So I think that wraps it up for our hit replays as we move on to our deep dive hot issue topic, queerness. Coming out, being a part of the fucking LGBTQ community. You know who I'm quoting. That clip is all over social media.
Oh, God.
Woo. And we can't wait to talk about it. We just had to. We had to. I'm talking about none other than Bain from group Just Be, who came out publicly on stage during the last tour stop of the Just Be concert tour in LA, April 22nd. He yelled it from the rooftops. He performed a Pussycat Dolls cover. Like someone gave him a rainbow fan and he was using it on himself. In terms of coming out stories, he's got a great one, I must say.
There is something about, and we've always said it, like there's something about the way that K-idols, and I'll even say J-idols, when they come to America, specifically LA, they act like a whole different person. But in this case...
Exactly,
okay,
Joe.
getting right to it.
In this case, though, it was not necessarily a whole different person, but you felt in LA to be your whole self publicly in a way that you can't in Seoul or Tokyo.
Yeah.
So like
To show this side of yourself.
and like in to be a K-pop idol is like one of the most vulnerable places to do it. I'm glad he felt comfortable enough, and I'm glad we're in like 2025. But at the same time, I'm thinking I was very happy, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh my God, I hope he's okay when he goes home, because I'm thinking of
Yeah.
like Holland, like
Yeah.
last
Can you say
year.
a little bit about him for those who don't know?
So Holland is technically the first openly gay K-pop idol, if I remember correctly. He came out in like
Yeah.
2016, 2017. He's an independent artist. However, last year, much like in the United States, because of who was in office, people have been feeling emboldened, and Holland was assaulted in public. And so while I'm very happy for Bain, I'm also kind of scared because that's the career he's going back to. So like, yeah, I like, it's like, welcome to the family, and love it for you. At the same time, I want to make sure he's safe.
Yeah,
Right.
Praying for his protection.
Right.
I second everything you just said, Joe, because again, I want to be so happy for him and just be unabashedly proud and supportive. But like you said, knowing the issues of the past, and especially like you said, with the past administration in Korea, over the past 5 and 6 years, we had this huge shift in the popular culture of this like toxic, hyper masculine portrayal of Korean men.
Yep.
And so again, all of the very conservative, very homophobic tendencies were emboldened by this kind of focus on what a Korean man should be. So again, I was also just so afraid, but luckily, at least from the comments that we've seen from Bain and his posts on Instagram, especially in his letter to Hong Suk-chol, who
Yeah.
Yeah.
is who he literally calls the light house, showing him the path to the future. Because
Shout out to Uncle
he is
Tony.
again, Uncle Tony, for people who don't know him, I guess we could kind of, he's been compared, I don't like this comparison, but he's been compared to like the Korean Ellen, in the sense of they were a very high profile celebrity who came out in one of the higher points of their career in a way that shifted the industry in a very significant way. But not to say that it was very easy.
At their own.
No.
Yeah.
Ooh, took a major toll mentally, career-wise, had to disappear from the industry and then
Yep.
come back later. Yeah, great risk.
Yeah, so it's just his knowing that there are now people like Hong Suk-chol and Holland in the industry, again, paving the way, as we like to say, for these new baby idols like Bain. It gives me hope at this point, which is so crazy that now in 2025 we can actually kind of have this perspective for queer idols in the industry.
Right.
We should also give a shout out to Lara from Katseye, who earlier this year, March 24th, came out in such a cute, quirky way during a Weverse live saying, and I quote, "I knew I was half a fruitcake when I was like 8. Isn't half a fruitcake such a good way to explain it without saying it?" So we assume she means bisexual or something like that. Yeah, Lara being a South Asian
Yeah.
member of K-pop group Katseye, so that context is important as well. But yeah, we're seeing 2 definitive coming out stories from the K-pop industry early in 2025. And, you know, queerness has been, we've done a few episodes on this. Queerness has been a topic du jour around K-pop, especially in terms of concepts for the art, for the music videos, fan service between members of groups on stage, skinship,
Pepero games, and
all of that. And I kind of say that with like side eye, because a lot of that falls into queer baiting. It is totally different from actual human beings coming out and proclaiming, like, yes, I am of this sexual orientation, not hinting at it or alluding to it in art. So I just want to like draw that line here that we are starting to see something different. And now, like, yes, sadly, as we were just talking about a moment ago, we kind of wait for the other shoe to drop. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, this is the real thing, actually.
And I think I guess it's because of the state of the world, at least as it pertains to the United States right now, where I'm just like, if this was any other time, I'd be like, oh, well, maybe he could like move to Europe or the United States and probably have an easier go of it.
Oh,
but
no, don't come here.
I can't say that right
You're
now.
going to get your passport confiscated. You're going to get, no.
I can't say that right now.
You
Like
sure
it,
can't.
like it kind of sucks that like even though we're technically so far ahead, at this point, if you're in trouble, if you're like a queer person in a country where you're in trouble, technically at this point, the way everybody's going, there's not really a place for you to go anymore, and I hate that.
Yeah.
But more power to Bain. And I will be watching the K-pop industry and see how they move in regards to this. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy this for now.
right.
Yeah,
And Lara.
Speaking of, and Lara, yeah, hats off to her. Speaking of like the queerness discourse in K-pop fandom, we've also seen an increase in idols saying publicly they see themselves as genderless or want to show a genderless concept for their group. I'm thinking of Xlov in particular. This is about, and we want to just draw the line here again, this is about gender expression, gender identity. Xlov says famously, the art we express is gender free, so maybe more akin to genderless, is maybe what they're going for. We had a whole part of an episode where we were talking about, do they mean androgynous? Do they mean like part mask, part femme? We're that discussion is ongoing, and we're figuring that out. But just looking at historical examples of idols as well. Joekwon from 2AM. I think a lot of American fans see him and they're like, oh, he's fruity. Oh, he's gay. He has never publicly come out as gay. He has stated that being genderless and androgynous, appeals to him. Same for Amber Liu. Actually, unless anybody has evidence to the contrary, Amber has talked about gender, but not sexual orientation. Has not officially come out.
And to briefly go back to Joe Kwan, when he said that was like 2 or 3 years ago. And if I remember correctly, he had to follow up because I think when he first said genderless, that he defined himself as genderless, I think Western and international fans took it as him saying that he was non-binary. Because those were the posts and the reaction that I was seeing, and then I think he had to follow it up just saying that he meant genderless as in androgynous, not necessarily as pertaining to. And we had to have a conversation about like context.
So much can be lost in translation.
Yeah.
Especially jumping over into American audiences and how we receive it in our frameworks about gender identity and stuff. So we just add this context so that folks can really see what the state of queerness in K-pop is. It's something that is shown a lot in the art, and gender is talked about a little bit, mainly in terms of androgyny. But yeah, this is big for folks to actually come out, especially given repressive administration, a pretty conservative Christian church culture in Korea, religious backlash against gay pride parades. There, we could be entering a kind of volatile, tumultuous time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Speaking of art, was there a young woman in K-pop that we wanted to touch on briefly?
Take it away. Yes. I know we were kind of circling around her.
She's kind of blowing up on social media. I mean, she's always blown up because it's kind of been an inside joke between fans since she was in Luna. But Miss Chuu,
yes,
with her art and her artistry is I won't say she's saying it outright, but like the music that she's been making is leaving hints.
What is she saying, Joe?
So I haven't heard Only Cry in the Rain, but the song that I've been like with everybody else has been Kiss a Kitty. Like I like
Blushing.
Here's the thing. If you think about Chuu and Chuu's career, technically she was already set up for this, honestly. Cause
what do you mean?
Okay,
set up to be a Sapphic icon?
Yes, because Luna is pretty much when it comes to K-pop, I don't really get that heavily involved in the lore of groups. Luna is probably the first and only time I've gotten deep into the lore. And with Luna, there was this kind of these Sapphic storylines where like the girls were trying to talk to each other, and I think like I think Chuu specifically, I think Heart Attack, which was her debut song, was about her having a crush on Yves. And like since then, it's kind of just been an ongoing thing. And then Kiss the Kitty, I was just like, okay, I don't want to say anything, but at the same time, I'm just like, it feels like you're not even trying to hide it anymore, ma'am.
You're not even trying.
Like even
With
Baby
your,
Tate,
like, cute egg yo, like big grin face.
right? And
You know what you're talking about, Chuu.
like
These lyrics
even
are dirty.
like
Straight up.
even Baby Tate had to say, "Girl, what is this?" The rapper, which like
Yeah,
shout out
look
to
up
Baby
the
Tate, one of my
Tate video on
one of my favorite female rappers right now. But she was like, "Chuu, girl, what is you talking about?"
I want to kiss a kitty. I bet she's silky smooth and she got attitude. What is
like
a
come
Milky
on,
Way of born.
like no, these lyrics are
my gosh.
these lyrics are just like, okay, ma'am, we get it.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell her she's so pretty. Wow.
She says I'm perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, that part.
Oh gosh.
Ooh.
But Chuu, while she again we see her as an icon, she's still within this separate category. I think that of idols that they drop hints, but have yet to fully express like, hey, I am actually a lesbian, or I am actually blank, or I'm actually queer. So which is why, again, taking it back to what Bain and Lara have done is so historic as far as just the history of K-pop.
Yeah.
Because we get, there's a long list of people that be dropping hits. Moonbyul, Key. Again, we can go on and on and on about the history of that, but let's just keep it to 2025 for today.
Yep.
I know. It's like I can't help but go back. There's such a long list of artists where if somebody had said, "Oh, they came out a long time ago," I'll be like, "Yeah," I wouldn't be surprised. But no, they keep it for PR purposes. Like they walk that line. They might say on a live stream or something, they might like wink and hint at like, "Oh yeah, when I find the one, it could be man or woman." I don't know. They hint at it, They say stuff in interviews tongue in cheek, but they're very careful. I wonder how much of it is the labels, the PR teams like telling them you better not, like threatening them, or if it's in the contract, or if it's more unspoken social norm, or maybe both. I just want to be clear in this discussion that none of us is saying that K-pop idols owe us a certain format of coming out or to come out or declare their sexual orientation publicly at all. We here are talking about systemic oppression forces that might influence the decision of how public someone is, but at the end of the day, no individual owes it to us to share those details of their private life.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as where Hybe is, Hybe has officially made no comment on specifically about what Laura said on her live, and they described it as a personal issue relating to the artist. I know Bain comes from a smaller label, so I don't know if they, as of today, as of recording, they haven't released any statement regarding their position on how, at least how they are going to represent him going forward. So we'll see.
Yep.
How old is Bain? Is he on the younger side?
Yeah,
Lara
I think
here is 19.
I'm pretty sure he's a baby.
Hmm.
Bain. Let's see.
Guess he's
Bain
like
is 23.
23.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right, he's older than I thought.
Well, I mean,
see an
23.
article
That's still a
here.
baby to me.
Yeah. It's a grandpa for K-pop. I see an article here. The K-pop idol who was fired from SM for being gay.
Oh yeah, that's
Killian. Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, we'll get into all of those people later.
Yes. Yeah, stay tuned for a deeper dive that you, the community, you, the listeners, can participate in. Coming soon. Join the Slack to learn more. I wanted to circle back around to the point that we touched on in the very beginning, which is idols behaving differently when they come to the States or the West. LATAM.
Right.
Yeah, because that's a layer here as well. Definitely. Oh gosh, what came to mind just now actually is those TikToks about Hongdae guy,
Oh yeah.
Oh, Sean Solo.
where he's like, oh gosh, it's a scathing parody of Korean men in Hongdae, but really they're all around, who approach foreign women especially and hit on them and try to just get into bed with them immediately, asking things like, are you
Are you open-minded?
Open-minded? Which is code word for you DTF, you down to get it on right away. And that has I have had that personal experience in Korea, or interacting with certain Korean men who just assume because I'm American or because I'm black, I'm more just like sexually open to that. And I think it's, appropriate for us to name that in that same bucket of like, oh, America is a place where sexual things in general are more, I don't know, available and open. Like this can also be a place where queerness or LGBT sexual orientation identity can be explored and expressed. So it's a double-edged sword in a way, because like, what do they mean by progressive?
Right.
What is that? Like it doesn't seem fully pure and clean to me. It's still, I guess it still feels like America is a place where you play out your shadow fantasy. Not saying that Bain is doing this at all, but I'm thinking of how idols come here and they sexualize their choreography more. They do more crotch grabs and hip thrusts and cursing and grinding with bands on stage or with each other. Twerking on stage in the US is like, this is par for the course, all the tours now.
Then you have like Jackson going the Janet Jackson route, dancing on people on stage.
Ooh, yes. I'm all for it. And I have to wonder, from Idol's point of view or from Korean fans' point of view, are they seeing this as, oh, America has gay people, we don't? That's something you can do over there. I know. I personally know Korean people who like have that belief.
Yeah, it from what I've heard, that's still the, especially specifically with the older generation, that's still the thought, like that's a foreign, and not even just in Korea, but like in Asia at large, queer people or queerness is a foreign problem. That's not something that we do, which like, and I say this as one, shout out to Christianity. Y'all really did, wow, the way y'all just erased queer history out of the rest of the world.
Ooh.
God, dog, it's just, ugh. But yeah, it's very much I'm glad that they feel comfortable here to express themselves that way in terms of queerness. The other one, I'm just like, absolutely. I'm just like, sometimes it.
Yeah, to be clear, I am not throwing shade at people coming out here in the US at all. Like this feels like a safer place to do that. Like, please, welcome. I'm mainly pointing at like a bystander observer mindset, the Hongdae guy open-minded mindset. Which that places queerness in the same category as promiscuity, pedophilia, sexual deviance.
Right.
That queerness is in that bucket of like, ooh, you're doing something shadowy and bad and gross. Yeah. So you go to the States for that. Right. I'm just like poking at that a little bit, if that is here.
Yeah. I think, well, first of all, if you haven't seen Sean Solo's videos, he's been doing that bit for about 3 or so years, and it does not get dry. And like, if you think about it, even in his interviews where he's talked about why he started doing that bit, that is like Kendrick levels of hatred. I need y'all to understand.
He's dedicated.
He is so dedicated.
Hates his Hongdae man.
It's like, but I guess it's one of those things in K-pop, or in learning about K-pop, or I'm learning about the culture and like learning to write about Asian music. You have to learn about these different cultures. So it's like one of those things where you want to say something, but I'm also not sure. I guess I'm also not sure because I'm not familiar with the culture like I am my own. Now, like I'll say that it's kind of, I have a different expectation for K-pop idols who are born and raised in the United States or Europe or Australia. Like my ex-husband, like the expectations for my ex-husband were so high.
Your ex-husband? Who's that?
Matthew Kim.
Oh, I knew it. Big Matthew.
Like,
he had to file them divorce papers.
I had to, because when he, like, I watched that live, and we were talking about how, like, the way that K-pop idols act in the United States and in Korea, it's kind of like, and this is kind of a different topic, but it's just like, with K-pop idols in that aspect, it's kind of like, I can tell K-pop idols who have been in community with black folk, Like, and there are some that I want to name and I don't want to name them because usually when we name
I know the
people that
minute you
jinxes
name
it,
them, they're gonna get canceled for something. Right?
right? So, but like the artists that I have in mind, I know that they've been in community with Black people for a long time. So,
Sure, yeah.
but like in that one, I guess like we don't have enough time to go into it today. But yeah, that's kind of like Western raised K-pop idols are held to a different standard.
They should be.
Which they should be. We can't go into it today. I could go.
I know we're holding back, but that means we are leaving something for next time. PD Nim, I'm passing it to you for any final insights.
Insights. I don't.
Okay, comments, feelings.
Comments and feelings. One, I think now that we finally had this discussion, I think it's helped kind of process those uncertain feelings about it, and I feel like now I'm in a place where I'm more excited. Like, I really hope that this is one of those turning points, especially if we are in this 5th generation of K-pop, that this can be a 5th generation that is able to be open and expressive about whatever it is and that it is to be who they are truly. And then maybe, who knows, down the line we could have debuts where there are rookies who are outright like, hey, I'm in a girl group and I like girls.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And it's okay. That's what I'm hoping for. At least maybe if this is the 2025 that I want it to be.
Korea also just dropped the lesbian dating show. Have you watched?
Yes. Oh no,
I'm intrigued. I'm seeing little clips on TikTok. I'm like,
I gotta
be done
be done with
there?
I gotta be done with my classes so I can really just sit down and focus on it.
I don't know. This could be the year, y'all.
All right. Well,
Fingers crossed.
We'll be checking back in.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I think that about wraps it up for our discussion for now. Let's let our listeners know where they can find you on the socials and anything you want to plug, starting with you, Joe.
You can find me at Journalistic Joe on Instagram, as well as in the K-Pop Cast Slack. I'm also doing some hyper-local writing, so you probably won't see it in the wild, but I'll make sure to post them in the Slack.
Yes, thank you for posting your writing.
Right. I want to promote Joe's mini podcast about the Met Gala's theme, right, about tailoring Black fashion and kind of what that means for especially Black dandyism in history and K-pop fashion. So I really want people to go check that out.
You can find me on Instagram at Catchlight27.
And I'm at PDNim on our K-pop Cast Slack. And of course, you can follow all of us on our K-pop Cast Slack.
And if you want to support the show, please consider donating to our Ko-fi. Shout out to our contributors, Lady Senza and newest one, Chelsea H. Woo!
Yay.
Thanks, everybody.
She says I'm perfect.